One of the things we haven't really talked about a whole lot yet is the effect of trauma. And you've probably heard that word in all sorts of different contexts in the books that we read or people that we talk to. And if someone has experienced trauma of really any sort, one of the most important things that they need is to be seen again. The word intimacy is sort of, you could think of it as like into me you see. And so many people are lacking that today. And even that by itself over a long enough period of time can start to feel traumatic too. So, one way of looking at this is through what's called the triad of depression. This was first elaborated by Aaron Beck. If you've ever heard of cognitive behavioral therapy, he was one of those guys. The triad of depression goes like this: I believe that the world is unfair. I believe that I don't have a future, that things are hopeless, and I don't believe I can do anything about it, right? I don't have any agency over my life. And all three of those can kind of be tethered into no one sees me, no one really cares how this outcome comes out for me, no one is giving me specific encouragement of who I could become, right? A lot of that stems from just a simple lack of connection, like a fruit that's been picked off of the vine and no longer has nutrients going to it. Being seen and being recognized is one of the most fundamental human needs. With kids in the juvenile system, if they have an absent parent, whether physically gone or emotional absent, whatever it is, that child needs attention. It's human currency, right? Attention is the most powerful thing that moves our culture or moves the economy. You know, that's what advertising is. It's drawing people's attention towards a thing. Why is it important that a leather football crosses the line? Because we all give it attention and it has meaning for that. Now, what if we go without it? If I say attention-seeking behavior, you immediately probably think of something negative, right? Where even a child would prefer to be put into the juvenile system because at least there they're getting some type of attention, even if it's negative. It's kind of a sad state of affairs, but it's absolutely the case that that currency is so important to us that we'll be willing to do just about anything to get it. It might be hard to understate the effectiveness of someone just being seen when it comes to all of the mental health issues that we're encountering right now. We have a healthcare system which may lead one to feel like they're not really being listened to. When a physician, for example, has 10 to 15 minutes to make a diagnosis and send somebody on their way, are they really being paid attention to? We have so many substitutes that can keep us isolated from other human beings, and for a little while it sort of kind of works. With all the things that we have on screens available to us, the risk of going out and making a connection can be sort of left alone if we just are by ourselves. But really, there's a risk to each. The big risk of trying to know other people, if you're somebody who is struggling with isolation, is that other people really don't know how to connect or listen to you. Have you ever been in a conversation where there's sort of the me monster, where, you know, you share something and it's like, oh, well, let me tell you this. And then it's like, well, okay, well, I guess you're not really that interested in me, right? This is true for a lot of people, but for veterans as well, there's the story on the heart of what I went through, and I really just don't think other people can see things my way because I've seen things that my counterparts just haven't. Yeah, there's certainly some truth to that, but one of the difficulties is that you still need to be seen in that, if not fully comprehended. In order to be empathetic with somebody else, you don't necessarily need to have had that same person's experience, but one needs to allow themselves to be open to just listening, to connecting with whatever that is, without needing to put a label on it, without needing to have some type of fix for it, because often the fix in itself is just being able to connect on a deeper level with another human. By voluntarily giving up some of our attention to someone else, one of the most finite resources that we have, that is an extraordinarily valuable thing. That for someone who's gone through trauma, who maybe is in the throes of depression, who doesn't think the world is fair, who doesn't think there's hope in the future, and who doesn't think they can do anything about it, by being given that attention and perhaps even that encouragement, that begins to sort of undo that. Like, oh, maybe people do care about how my life turns out. Maybe there is something within me that can do this. Maybe I can practice my agency once again in a relationship where I can actually trust the other person. A lot of action can get shut down just simply by I don't trust anyone. How do you square the circle of I desperately need positive human attention and affection, yet I don't trust anyone to give that to me? Well, it's through attunement. It's through listening deeper. And that's what we're trying to do here.